Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sunday Night is Organ Music Night. We're starting slightly differently tonight. We're starting with some chit-chat because, hold on, I need to whack up that colour a bit. It's a bit pasty. I can go, oh, it's a bit much. Let's go to about there. That'll do. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a new organ for Hauptwerk. Now, the reason I'm starting like this is because I haven't touched the organ yet. I just literally, while we were setting everything up, I just mapped the keyboards and the pedals, switched everything on, made sure I'm on the right channel, all that kind of stuff. That's all I've done. So I haven't tried any of the stops yet. I don't know what this thing sounds like. If you listen carefully, you can hear some background noise, some blower noise, all that kind of thing. I'm going to share my screen with you. There you go. Good Chappie will recognize this because Good Chappie has this organ. Good Chappie told us earlier in the chat. Where's the Good Chappie? Oh, hold on, that's not on. That's not going to work. Hold on. If I switch this on, there we go. That's better. And there we go. Good Chappie. I purchased this sample set a few weeks ago and he likes it. Well, that's good enough for me. If our friend Good Chappie likes it. He's actually a rather wonderful organist, our friend Good Chappie. Go and check out his channel at some point and check out his videos. Some rather wonderful stuff up there. Now, what have we got here? Let's look at this. I love Ivan's sample sets because they're full of details. Look at the light shining on the swell pedal as I open and close it. The light reflecting off the swell pedal. The light reflecting off these little pedal buttons here. I like that. And the fact that the stops, they're all beautifully lit from above, and as it gets down here, they're very dark. So we're guessing it's an old tungsten bulb or something that's lighting up all these things here. And as you get down there, check the shadows on the swell and all that sort of stuff. Oh, the attention to detail is phenomenal. I love that about Ivan's sample sets over at Barritt Audio. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Now, this is a Father Willis organ. There's a wonderful history to it, but you can go and check that out on the website. It's rather lovely. Good Chappie says, I find some of the stops stick out above the rest. Well, what I particularly love is this one, for example. Check this guy out. He's completely wonky. He's way off to the twisted and things like that. And you can see the writing on them. He's all twisted as well. There's the ophicleide and the pedal. You can hardly read it anymore. That's obviously been replaced at some point because you can read it, and so on and so on. So yes, again, it's the attention to detail. I think it's absolutely wonderful. Now, I'm not going to hang around on this because that takes far too long to read, and because we don't know the organ, I'm going to press this button here which says Simple Jam. And now we have the pedal, the choir, the grate, and the swell stops all listed out for us. And well, we're just going to start playing around with this. Now, let's have a look at the pedal. We've got 3 16-foot, 2 8-foots, 16-foot reed, and that's it. Very, very, very sort of medium-sized Willis of the day. Here on the choir, we have 2 flutes, a Lieblich Gedacht, a Clarabelle flute, which is kind of like a harmonic flute, a Dulciana, very soft, gamba. I wonder if they might not be the right way around for loudness. 1 4-foot, 1 2-foot, all flutes, a basset horn, an orchestral oboe. On the grate, double diapason. That's going to be a big woofy thing. We'll come to that in a minute. 2 open diapasons. Again, a Clarabelle flute. A nice open flute harmonique. Oh, there's even a flute harmonique here, 4-foot. A principal 4 and a flute 4. A 12th, he calls it 3 rather than 2 2/3. 15th, so that's our principal chorus basically. 16, 4, 8 and 16, 8, 4 and 2. That's that. There's a mixture. Reeds 16, 8 and 4, which is kind of exciting, and you can pop them down on the choir should you wish. So you can have your full grate here without the reeds, and you can have the reeds down there. That's a rather clever little way of doing it. Up on the swell, we have a 16-foot bourdon, a nice open diapason, I'm guessing. A soft 8-foot flute. We have our strings. That's what we're going to be starting with in a minute. A 4-foot Gemshorn. A Gemshorn is something in between a principal and a flute. A flageolet, which sounds like a trouser accident. A flageolet is a 2-foot whistle, basically. There's your little mixture. And then we have a contra hautbois. So a contra oboe, there's the oboe itself there. A cornopean, or cornopean, however you want to pronounce it, which is a nice round parpy reed, as to be expected of any Willis organ. A vox humana, which is rare on these organs. A 4-foot reed there, clarion, and some super and sub octaves. This is going to be very interesting. Let's start with my swell strings, the Bourdon 16 swell to pedal coupled, and let's see what happens. Now what I can do now is, if I go back to this, I think I can have the screen up there. Yes, there you are, so you can see what I'm doing. This, by the way, is another chopped up finger. When I was cooking this evening, I sliced right into my finger once again with a very, very sharp knife. So hopefully all is well. Let's play some music. I'm just going to play around. I'm going to leave the microphone on and I'm going to tell you what I'm doing as I start. What I am also going to do as I start is I'm going to save some registrations. So this is the softest registration so far. Oh, that's nice. Closing the swell box. That's very quiet. Let's try this great flute. Let me save that again. It's all very quiet, isn't it? Oh, that's the choir clarabelle flute. Hold on, it's the same. Ah, okay, so it's only one. Now let's try the soft stuff down on the choir. That's the Dulciana. That's nice, isn't it? The lieblich gedacht on the choir is louder than the clarabelle flute on the grate. I quite like that. Now let's start coupling some stuff together now. So that's swell to choir. That's nice. Add the Dulciana. Now I'm going to do something already that I would not normally do at this point, but I'm going to have to. I'm going to pump it up a bit. It's quite low. We need to get some. That sounds better, doesn't it? Good chappy. What are your settings for the audio settings there? I had them up on screen there. So volume at 100, but the trim. What are your settings there? I see you're mentioning settings about the faders. So we'll come to that in a minute. Well, this finger really hurts today. Let's add a diapason. That's big. Let's add this. Ah, that's better. It's recorded quite close to where we are, I think. Oh, that's big. That's even bigger. All right, we need another 8 foot here somewhere. Yeah, that'll do. I think we will actually have that. Now we can add this bar and this bar. Yep. Haha, that's nice, isn't it? Swell box is good. Now then, what do we add next? Quite like that. Principal time. Swell box close, add the 2 foot for some brightness. Yep. Open the swell box. Yeah. Swell box closed. Add all the reeds. I like that mixture. Oh, now we're talking. Okay, I'm going to try that crescendo again. Come the swell reeds. That's lovely. That's too big. Okay, I'm going to have to work on that again. I'll do that off camera though later. I quite like that. I love those Willis, Father Willis strings. It's just gorgeous. We kind of need the odds and the sub, I suppose. Oh, there you go. I love it. Right, I see Ivan's in the chat. Hi, Ivan. Another cracker here. I'm going to come out and say it right away. If you need an English organ for your sample set, go get this one. Just go and get it. Don't think about it. Don't hang around. Just go and get it. This is brilliant. I didn't really play around with anything. Let me see. Good chappy, did you tell me about your settings? You didn't tell me about your settings. Okay, right, now we're talking about what's the word I'm looking for? Reverberation here. Let me get a medium. Let's get big stuff. There's not much of it there, is there? However, check this out. Let me put this on the main screen for you. We have some settings here. We have 3 different levels of stuff. So we have a direct sound. Now you can see that's at -7 dB. Let me get rid of that altogether. Oops, sorry, wrong way. My mouse works the other way around. Here's the main sound. A bit of acoustic. Right, what about this? The surround sound. More acoustic, obviously. Let's leave all of that in. Let's have some of the main sound to that. We're getting there. It sounds like you're at the back of the church there, doesn't it? Moving forwards. I like. Now let's add some of the direct sound. In fact, let's get rid of all of these first. Come on, off you go. And let's have some of the direct sound. Oh my goodness, listen to the difference in the background noise there. These are going to be right up in the pipes. Oh my God. Ivan, did you record those inside the organ? Wow. That is very dry. Right, let me quickly go back to here and pop this back on so we can see what we're doing. This is amazing. That's very dry. Ivan, you were right inside the organ for those, weren't you? Now, why would you want to do that? Well, think about this. This, Ivan, you're onto something here. This is very clever. If you were to have, let's say you were organist in a church and you had a crappy little organ and it was falling to bits, and the church committee said, we need a new organ. That's what church committees talk like. We need a new organ, but we don't want to spend money. So what you do is you get a computer, you get some speakers, and you get a Hauptwerk set up. And then you buy this sample set and you have the direct sound. And that carries, of course, in the church acoustic, in the actual building itself. Clever, 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 clever. So you could put this in any building and its own acoustic will do it for you. I think that's rather clever. That's very direct. I don't think I've ever heard anything as direct as that. That'd be great for practicing your Bach. Gosh, that's not going to happen, don't worry. I think what we'll do, we'll have all of the main, we'll have a fair bit of the surround, and then we'll have, let's see, let's take that back. Where did you have it? You had it at -7. No, I'm going to have it there. I like that. That's a nice balance there. Well, obviously, I'll play around with that to get it more balanced. Hold on. Now, let's get back to this. Let's add the big stuff. The double diapason is huge. I'm going to, Ivan, I'm sorry. I'm going to go into the mixer and I'm going to turn that down just a tiny bit. These headphones, you can hear grass growing through these headphones. This, however, is rather lovely. The 16-foot on the thingy bob there. And let's have this full, oh no, I was going to, yes, let's go back up to where I had full organ. Yeah, so a minute, I just added that. So let's just add that on there. Now, where did we go from there? Let's just add that and that. I'm not going to bother with the bass flute on the pedal because you won't be able to hear that here. I'm going to add the double trumpet. Okay, the super octave comes through. That's brilliant. So I'm going to add the double trumpet and the super octave. And we're going to couple, and that's going to be my tutti. Yeah, that's going to be our tutti. I love that. Doesn't that sound good? That's a big, lovely homecoming sound there. I love it. All right, let me save those registrations. Save as, but give them a title. Right, let me just, my keyboard is down here. Hold on. C-R-E-S-C, crescendo. Right, that'll do. As long as I've got them saved as something, that's fine. Perfect, I like it. Let's have a look at the other stuff, shall we? And then we'll play some music on it. Ooh, nice sound, crunch. What about the Vox Humana with the tremulant? Box closed. That's a theatre organ if ever I heard one. Ooh, here we go. Right, let's have that. Let's add the strings and let's add that Dulciana. Have that. Actually, let's super it already and let's have this. Oh my God, that's brilliant. We only go up to G, okay. I want to go further. That sounds brilliant. Add the choir reeds, it sounds even better, he says. I love the fact they're not in tune with each other. Let me just try that again. Here's the Vox Humana with the trem. Here's the oboe. Oh, Oh, yes, 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 yes. That's brilliant. Now, I noticed over on the settings screen, you can actually make the organ in tune. Does that work? That doesn't sound anywhere as fruity. Let's go in the middle. Yes, 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 yes. That's good. Yeah, okay, I think we'll leave that there. I like the fact you can do that. That's very clever. I like the fact you've got a slider for it. Very nice. Very nice. Good attention to detail here. Ivan, your attention to detail is second to none. Here's a trick, by the way. If you're ever sitting at an English organ, all the swell reeds and just the mixture. Now, on its own, that sounds absolutely fine to me, but let's have a principal chorus along with that. Let's couple that down. Let's have some big stuff down on the pedal. All of that there. Now, close the swell box. It really needs the open diapason. Ivan just said, try the tuning feature. I just did. I love it. Yeah. Okay, now we have some solo stuff here. We have a basset horn, a corno di bassetto, which is very much a speciality of our friend Mr. Willis. These are lovely. It's a nice clarinet, basically. It's just a lovely big clarinetty sound. We have an orchestral oboe. I notice we don't have a tremulant on the choir. Nice. Nice. What's missing, ladies and gentlemen? A tuba. An organ of this size would never have had a tuba. Very unlikely to have had a tuba. So let's see what the great reeds are like. Now that's interesting. That's a very Willis kind of thing. The range you would play hymns at. Maybe up to C, maybe to D, yeah? It's nice. In this range here, it's round and warm and friendly sound. The higher you get, the more piercing it becomes. It becomes more like a French trumpet up there. So here it's lovely, but up here, much brighter. There's a 4-foot reed. Are they separate? Yes, they are. Good. So that's good. So 8 and 4. And we have something very English here. There's one of these on the Gackenbach organ, a double trumpet. So, nice and mild up here. Ooh. Oh yes. Ooh, yes. Now all of those together are going to be a big sound. Now here's an interesting thing. Now obviously if I press great reeds on choir, they're no longer there. I've got them here. Why would you want to do that? Well, let's have a principal chorus again. Let's get full swell coupled down to that. Let's add the super octave as well. So here's, we need some big stuff here obviously. Yeah, we'll go with that. So you can have a solo, so you could do things like this. And then full organ. That kind of stuff. You could have all of that going on. You would have more, wouldn't you? You would definitely have that. Something that's sadly lacking is a 32-foot. However, you can always add your own 32-foot by playing. Did you hear I had a 32-foot there? No, I don't. No, I do. I'm only adding one note and I'm turning it into a 32. If I'm playing a G in the pedal, at the bottom, that's that note. If I make sure I play the D above that, or the fifth, sorry, above that note, using a 16-foot stop on anywhere on the organ, it gives, let me show you what I mean. It gives a resultant effect, a harmonic effect, a resultant effect of the octave lower than the bass sound you're listening to. So here's a 16-foot. Let me just get rid of that and that for now. That's just a 16-foot sound. Now, by adding this one note here, a D, suddenly it sounds like a 32-foot. So let me do the same thing down on F. So there's the F. I'll show you I'm playing an F on my pedals. Look at my monkey socks. Why are my monkey socks not working? Oh, because that's on. I can only do one at a time. So if I add the F there, I get a 32-foot. There's the E flat. So I play a, ooh, can you hear the case of the organ? The wooden case rattling. Oh, wow. Now the problem is, once you get down to here, yeah, let's say we're playing on sort of full organ again, foolish organ, what a foolish organ. Something like this. Let's add a bit of beef to all of this. Now here it's fine because my left hand still sounds okay. If we get down to here, actually it sounds okay on this organ, it's not that bad. It's quite clever that we're adding a 32-foot effect. I could strengthen that by getting rid of the 16-foot on there, by getting rid of the 16-foot on as well, and adding the sub-octave coupler. And now all of these 8-foot stops here, I don't need that. All of these 8-foot stops here are sounding an octave lower as well. Now if I play this, maybe that's too much for that effect. I think that's better just like that. It's more subtle. Isn't this clever? I love it. Right, shall we play some music on this delicious instrument? I love it. This is nice. Well done, Ivan. Well done. This is a very good one. It's interesting to see Ivan's development with the sample sets. They've all been good, but they've been getting better. Yeah. The one he had out recently, the hospital school, was brilliant. I mean, a big organ, a big sound, wonderful. You know, big task to do. This is better. This is definitely better. This is an easier organ to sample. I will give you that, though. I'm not saying there was anything wrong with the last one, but this one is just better. This is all subjective, of course, but this one is better. It's a smaller church. It's an easier surrounding to sample. You can do more with the sound. You're not dealing with so much background sound and things like that. At least I'm guessing. I don't know, Ivan, maybe you were using completely different equipment for this, but it's really rather nice. Jeff says, I accept everything you say, but I can't detect the subtleties. Get some decent headphones. And you too. Better sample quality on Ewell, that's this one, for sure, says Ivan. There you are. Better sample quality. Are you saying you have better equipment, better mics, that kind of thing? I think it's wonderful. Certainly the bass department, you've definitely done something rather wonderful. Hear that? Little rattle in the organ cage, in the organ case itself. Where was the rattle? There. That's wonderful. Okay, what are we going to play with this? Oh, hold on, we're not finished with everything, are we? We still have all the flutes to look at. 8 flute, 4 foot flute. Ah, well done. It only goes up to G. And it only goes up to D. He didn't add any notes at the top. Well done, you. I like that. Okay, so the Clarabelle is the same as this Clarabelle. Is it? It's not. They are different. Oh, they are different. I take it back. This would be great for. That would be great for that kind of stuff. Oh. Oh, I pressed the button, sorry. Nice, nice. I love this flute here. We tried that earlier. Oops. That's a nice chiffer. How does that work with the concert flute? Very nicely indeed. What have we got here then? We have our Clarabelle. Very nice. We have a 2 foot here. Does that work better with that? Always testing? Ah, maybe both. Hee. 8, 4 and 2. Crispy, I think, is a nice word for that. Sometimes you can have fun by adding, we've got our basset horn and the 4 foot flute. Good for comedy effects, that kind of stuff. Let me show you what I mean. Let's have a bit of this up here. So if I want to play some jazzy stuff, for example. Just adds a bit of brightness to it. That's nice. Oh, the first piece of music. Where do we go from there? Nice tuning. Ooh. Yes, adding a 4-foot flute to a solo reed always gives it a slightly more Kenneth Williams nasal effect. If you don't know who Kenneth Williams was, you will not get that joke. But it always does it. Now you can do the same thing with a 2-foot flute, but it adds less of a comedy effect. Just makes it thinner. What does it do with this one? Yep. Goody. Now we haven't done what's going on up here. We have an open diapason, we have a gemshorn, a flageolet, and a mixture. That's a weird mixture. Can you tell me what's in that mixture? Anyone listening? Anything? Who knows what's in that mixture? What's in this mixture? Exactly the same. Just much louder because it's the great mixture. Okay, interesting. Can anyone tell me the specialities of a Father Willis mixture? Anyway, what was I doing? I was looking at this that gemshorn is very principally, that's good. And the flageolet is very small 2-foot stop. So let's have the mixture. Oh, what I didn't do yet. Solo for the reeds. Nice. Compare. I like it. That's a nice cornopean. 8-foot oboe. Also with a 4-foot flute. Yep, works. 16-foot. Nice and slow. Hardly speaking. Ha ha! I like it. What you need is, you need that for, what's that piece of music called? I haven't learned it yet. I really should sit down and learn it. Yeah, that'll do. That March by Lefebvre-Velly, that would sound really nice on that. Maybe both together. Yeah. Comedy music. I like it. We have a 4-foot clarion. How does that compare to this one? Huge difference. You'd expect that. So 16/8/4 on the great, 16/8/4 on the swell. Huge difference, but that's good. We want that. I like a lot. Wow. Lovely. Ivan, you've done it. You've done it. This is a... Oh, look at that. My book just opened magically at the page I wanted it to open at. Vaughan Williams. Sparkly wine again tonight. Vaughan Williams time. And I think what we want to do is we want to beef up. Have I still got that on for you? Yeah, you can still see that. We want to beef up the stringiness of everything. I'm going to have both of these flutes together. I'm actually going to add that one. Just to give it more flutiness. Let's hold on. Yeah, I've added the Dulciana to that as well. So it's all the 8-foot flutes on the great and choir. I've added the Dulciana as well. Why? Well, let me show you. It's very gentle. Doesn't take away from the flutiness. Doesn't take away from the flutiness, and it adds just a little bit of... grit is the wrong word, but it adds a little bit of it's like on a Hammond organ when you put it through an amplifier and you add a little bit of overdrive just to give it a slight sort of dirty edge, but it's very subtle. Just gives it a bit more presence, a bit more analog. Strings. Oops. Only up to G, sorry, I can't go any higher than that. Sparkle? No, not sparkle, not sparkle. Not sparkle. Oh, we have questions here. Ialavi, I don't know how we're supposed to pronounce that. Good evening, new name to me. How much does Hauptwerk cost? Are you referring to the software itself, or are you referring to this sample set within the software? Because the software is just basically an empty shell which needs to be filled with a sample set. And each individual organ, let's see, how many organs do I have on this machine now? If I click that, I can cancel it, can't I? How many organs do I have on there? I have no idea. A lot is the answer. I think I've got 40 odd on there. Different organs, all actual organs from somewhere around the world, and they are just played from this hardware software kit here. The software is stupidly expensive. A proper license, what does a proper license cost these days for Hauptwerk? It's $500, I think, isn't it? There is a subscription, of course there is, but I think it's $500 for a license, or maybe $5.99. I'm not actually sure. This sample set, do you know, I haven't even looked. Ivan, how much are you selling this for? I hope it's for a decent amount, because this is a wonderful instrument. Ivan, what's the price? About 50 million, says good chappy. Yes, that's how much the inventor of Hauptwerk is living with these days. Do you know he has a yacht? Anyway, I shouldn't have told you that. Yes, Ivan, how much are you selling this for? Because I'm willing to bet it's not enough. Good chappy says around 500. Is that for? No, that's not for the organ, I'm guessing. Ivan, are you still here? Or have you fallen asleep? Ivan was giving us some little codes earlier on. I'll tell you what that is in a minute. More this week than last week, says Jim. Okay, that's good. Okay, you're talking about the price of Hauptwerk there. What about the price of this sample set? We could look on this website, couldn't we? Let's have a look on the website. If I just type in BAR, I immediately have a Barritt. £175. £175 for this organ. £175. What's that? About 190 euros, 200 bucks, $200, something like that. I'm going to say, Ivan, I'm going to say that's not enough. That's not enough. You could easily have priced this at 219. I would say that would have been the perfect price for this. It's a big instrument. It's beautifully sampled. It's got toys. You can change around all the bits and bobs. I think this was definitely worth over the £200 mark. Ivan, consider that for the future. And that's not just me saying that as a Scotsman. I think it's worth more. Is this one you should consider? Is this one you should just go out and get? Is this one you should reserve for the future? I would just go out and get it. It's wonderful. And I've only been playing with it since you've been listening to me. So yeah, I'm going to play a piece of music on it now. Stop talking, Gartshore. Yep. I like it. Apologies for not playing very cleanly this evening. I've got a huge plaster on my finger and it's not comfortable, I think is the way to say it. Let's have a tiny little break for my sanity, if nothing else, and say hello to some people in the old audience there, and then go and check out what's been happening over at the box office. Would I have been able to purchase this sample set tonight? I don't know. We will find out in a minute. Let's find out. I'm going to read you the history of this as well, because it's actually I was reading it while I was playing there. It's actually some rather interesting stuff in there. I think there was something here. I think there's something that says part of the sales is going back to the organ. By purchasing this sample set, you are supporting St. Mary's and the upkeep of the organ. If you are a student in full-time education, you are eligible for a 50% discount. There you are. Email Ivan for details. Who's here this evening? Max is here this evening. Hi, Max. Mike is here this evening. Cassie is here. Thank you very much, Cassie, for chipping in on the wish list a couple of times. Vanessa informed me. I didn't see you in the chat the other night, so thank you. Good Chappie is here. Hello. Jez M is here. Jeff Ryle is here. Hi, Jeff. Happy New Year to you. Opus Dry is here. Good evening. Xing Shang Chong is here. Good evening to you, and thank you once again for your lovely Christmas present. He came to visit me yesterday in church. Alexander Wunderlich is here. Good evening, Alexander. Marek is here. Let's have a look. Who else is here? Yellowbird is here. Good evening. This church has a website and a page about the organ. Splendid. Let's check that out. Ian Lavery is here. Good evening, Ian. Wolfgang Ratzka is here. This is a new sample set, Wolfgang. Yep, this is definitely a new sample set. Thesaurus Rex is here. I need some new glasses here. I need some new eyes, actually, more than anything else. What would you recommend? New glasses or laser? What would you recommend? I'm going to be 53 in a couple of weeks' time. So what would you recommend at my age? Sandra is here. Hi, Sandra. Gerhard Flink is here. Hi, Gerhard. Julian GC is here. T-Yoga Web is here. Hello. From upstate New York. That's a nice place to be at this time of year. Nice place to be any time of the year. Who else is here? Ivan is here. Hello, Ivan. That's Barritt Audio. The man himself. The man of the moment. Tim is here. Hello, Tim. Has someone committed the ultimate sin of giving a pipe organ drawbars? I doubt it. Oh, I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it. Per Tjernström is here. Louder, he says. I can always make it louder. Stefan the 13th is here. Hello, Stefan the 13th. Jeffrey Ford is here. Hi, Jeff. French Horn is here. Good evening to you. And actually, good evening to Joel, if he is listening as well. Alvin is here this evening with his Chipmunks. Good evening, Alvin. I have to mention that because the other night I played the Chipmunk tune and Alvin was one of the few who recognized it. He's here from Texas. Talking of Texas, is Lucian here tonight? Let's find out. Roy Hubler is here from Alabama. Oh, do you have a banjo on your knee? I do hope you do. Yug dugga 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 dug. That's lovely that you are here. Canned Music is here. Mark B. Dancer is here. The organ's predecessor at the church, which was burnt in the fire, also a Father Willis, did have a 32. I began learning the organ on this instrument just after it was put in St. Mary's. Mark, that's wonderful. Mark must be one of the... Are you one of the organists in the church, Mark? You're a very lucky guy if you get to play this regularly. Wow, wonderful. Wonderful. Lovely to have you here, Mark. Great. Lovely, lovely. Right, who else is here? Let's go down the list. Nicholas Nunez. Julian Cleek, I think I mentioned you, didn't I already? I will mention you again in that case. It's a typical Willis tierce mixture. There you are, well done. And this is where Barritt Audio, or Ivan here, was coming up with his codes, his fancy codes. I'll go back to the list in a minute, but I want to show you this. What does that mean? He said 17, 19, 22. What do those numbers mean? Well, If this is 1 C, then that's 8, then that is 15. So this is 17, that is 19, and that is 22. So if I press those 3 notes there, that is basically what this mixture is. Hold on, let me do it down here. Hey, how does that work? Obviously it doesn't sound exactly the same because these are tuned in equal temperament and the mixture is tuned in proper harmonics, the harmonic range. Wait a minute, why would that work? Why would I want to do that? Well, we're adding, those are notes from the harmonic series, and if you add notes of the harmonic series, it strengthens the bottom end as well as adding brightness. It's very clever. The brightness. Anyway, yes, we're not going to do any of those impressions tonight, but you get the idea. It's lovely. A 3rd and a 5th. There you are. You're correct. You're right. Well done. Who else is here? John Cranky is here this evening. Hello, August. I'm going to give you your full name. August. I love pronouncing it in the German way. August. It's wonderful. Well done. Lovely that you are here. All right. Who else is here? Matthias H. Goldman is here. Lots of English organs for Hauptwerk recently. I'm a bit overwhelmed. This one sounds really nice and versatile. Yes, and at that price, it is unbloody beatable. Go get it. Go get it. No excuse. Thesaurus Rex is here. Hello. Good chappie bought Hauptwerk in 2001. Didn't know Hauptwerk was that old. Didn't know it was that old. Who else is here this evening? Good chappie had laser treatment 21 years ago and did not regret it. Yeah, I'm very tempted. It's bloody expensive though. I am tempted. Yeah. All right, there we are. That's everyone in the chat so far. Good evening to all of you. Now, let's go and have a check at the box office. Oh, a couple of people have bought a ticket this evening. Right, who was first this evening? First was Alexander Wunderlich. Hello, Alexander. Thank you very much. And our friend Opus joining in at the same time. Who's this? Cassie. Hello, Cassie. Thank you very much. Cassie has bought a ticket this evening. Thank you very much. Didn't you get something on the wish list as well? Gosh, Cassie is really going for it at the moment. Thank you very, very much indeed. Stefan M., thank you very much to you. David Stevens, thank you very much to you. And oh, yes. My friend from Estonia, Maido, is back. Oh, wonderful. Congratulations to you. Lovely to see you. Happy New Year. Thank you very much as well. Now, has Vanessa written me an email? Let me go and see. I don't know what's on the wish list, you see. I've actually, if you have been a wish list supporter recently, you will have received a message today from me. I got Vanessa to post it because she's in charge of Buy Me a Coffee at the moment. I put up a little video on YouTube, a private video on YouTube for supporters, for Buy Me a Coffee supporters. I got a new fancy toy to play with, so I'm not going to tell you about it here, but if you've supported it, you know about it now, so go and check that out. Right, Vanessa says, thank you too. Thank you too. She says thank you to Jeff Ford on the wish list. Thank you to Jeff on the wish list, and thank you to Cassie on the wish list. There we are. She already told me that, so it's thank you to you too there. Thank you very much indeed. Yes. Apparently, we're saving up for something for my birthday. It's my birthday in about 3 weeks' time, and apparently we're saving up for something for my birthday on the wish list. I know nothing about it. I'm being kept completely in the dark. Vanessa has taken over Buy Me a Coffee. She has changed the contact email so that she gets all the emails, I don't. And I'm actually being a good boy, and I'm not cheating. I'm not looking at the wish list. A couple of weeks ago, somebody said, hey, I just got you blah, blah, blah on the wish list. And I thought, why the hell do I need that? So that kind of gave the game away a little bit, but Vanessa told me, no, I shouldn't be thinking like that. Does that make sense? Right, let's have some more music on this beautiful instrument, as long as I can keep playing. Actually, I don't fancy playing a hymn. Shall we play something else? Let's play something completely different. don't think it's in here. A minute. If it's in here, I'm trying to think of some. Oh, I brought some extra plasters just in case. That was the right program. Hold on. I don't think it's in here. What's his name? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Will this work? I'm trying to think of. This should work. It's going to be some sight reading, and I hope I get most of it right, but it's not difficult music. Alec Rowley, a wonderful English composer, composed lots of beautiful music for organ, and exactly for this kind of organ. And Alec Rowley was writing these tunes when these organs were very much all the rage. So let me quickly just turn that around. How many pages is this? Only 3 pages. Oh, a minute, what's that? Oh no, I've already played that. I'm not going to play that. That was the last one anyway. All right. Here's a piece of music. It's an idyll, I-D-Y-L-L, from the word idyllic. We have instructions here. Swell, soft 8 foot. Right, well, we'll have all of those then. I like the presence of that sound. It sounds so present. It sounds like you're in the church. I know that's a stupid thing to say because every Hauptwerk organ sounds like you're in the church, but this sounds like you're... I've never been to this church, but I know what it feels like inside the church because I can hear that. Does that make sense? On the grate, we need a soft diapason. It's not really soft, but we'll have it. We need a clarinet on the choir. We have one of those. Perfect. We need what the hell does that say? That's so smart. Pedal, we need soft 16 and 8. So what I'm going to do is just take the 16-foot bourdon and couple the swell to that. I'm leaving, oh, this is interesting for you if I leave this thing on here so you can see what I'm doing. Is that good? Right, this is a piece of music by Alec Rowley. It's called The June Idyll, and hopefully it sounds something like this. That's quite a nice little piece of music, isn't it? Don't know what I did in the middle there. I've buggered that up a little bit in the middle. I'm trying to read it. It's like, can you see the size of that writing? It's absolutely minuscule on this thing, but never mind. Those are just excuses. A lovely piece of music nonetheless. I love that. This is actually from a suite. Let's do this exactly as it says. Choir, Dulciana, great, Clarabelle, swell, oboe, pedal, 8-foot. Boom. This is actually how this piece of music is supposed to sound. This is called the Gentle Shepherd. I usually play this at Christmas time. This is exactly how it should sound. I love that piece of music. The Gentle Shepherd. Plaintive is the word we're looking for there. I love that. It's a gorgeous piece of music. It's very simple, but very effective. And those were the exact registrations to the word, to the name for this piece of music. I love that. I don't think I've ever played that as authentically as that before. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Ivan, you're obviously not still in the chat there, but I hope you're putting up the price of this sample set even as we speak. I like it. Oops. Only goes to G. You keep needing to remember that. These are the good old days of organ building, where we didn't have any standards yet. Over in America, they had standards. Manuals went up to C, pedals went up to G. In the UK and in the rest of Europe, and other parts of the world for that matter, there was no standard. You know, some organs only went up to F, some made it to A. A majority, I would say, went to G. There's a rather bizarre anomaly where I play the organ in Herschbach, the little church here in the Westerwald village. The console goes to F, but the pipes up in the case go to A. Work that one out. They definitely cheaped out on the console when they didn't add to. They changed the organ all those years ago. Isn't that terrible? A horrible thing to do. What a thing to do. We had a request the other night that I haven't played yet. So let's play it now and see if this works on this organ. It's a jazzy sort of tune. It's by a composer called George M. Cohan. Remember him? Over there, over there. James Cagney and all that kind of stuff. This should work. I think we'll beef it up. Ah, we need that. Yep, definitely need that and that. Probably that. And maybe even that. Yeah, that's it. We need a good big parpy sound for this. George M. Cohan. This piece of music was written in, now you're ready for this, 1915. 1915. And the piece of music, words and music, George M. Cohan, it's actually called Those Irving Berlin Melodies. How old was Irving Berlin in 1915? Irving Berlin lived until well into the 80s, maybe even 19. When did Irving Berlin die? 90? He was very old. Check this out. Those Irving Berlin Melodies. Notice, public performance of this song prohibited. Right to publicly perform this song reserved by the author. Well, seeing as George M. Cohan is long gone, I think we should be quite safe. I like it. What a cute piece of music. Those Hauptwerk Berlin songs. Wow, Irving Berlin was 27 in 1915. Right, you do the maths. When did he die? Did we get it? Did anyone tell us? 1888 to 1989. Oh, I was right with 1989. Well done. No, couldn't remember if it was the late 80s or 1990 itself. Couldn't remember. Yeah, he lived to be an incredible old age. I remember the day he died. Because it was on the news, and I was into that kind of music. I had that woman there, an old distant relative, well, not that distant, an old family member, affectionately known as our great aunt. Wonderful character, very eccentric, and back in the heyday of all the goodies, back in the sort of 30s and 40s, getting on for 100 years old now, I suppose, 100 years ago, she was very much in with the in crowd around the world, and she knew all sorts of wonderful people. She was very good friends with Cole Porter, and she used to tell me that on a regular basis, what a naughty man he was, etc., etc. And she met Irving Berlin on a couple of occasions, and she said he was the most boring person she'd ever met in her life, which is quite something considering some of the people she met. She said Irving Berlin was very boring. Cole Porter was dangerously, I won't tell you the actual word she used. Let's just say you had to keep him away from pretty much everybody at all times. And after he'd had a drink, he was, incontrollable, I think was the word she used, something like that. She was friends with a young Benjamin Britten. She helped Benjamin Britten overcome his personal problems, and she sponsored him for a couple of compositions as well. She was very much into the arts. She paid for Vaughan Williams to compose a piece of music, a very famous piece of music, because nobody else would pay him, so she did. Absolutely fascinating character. Absolutely fascinating character. And there are all sorts of anecdotes about things she got up to. One of my favourites is she lived in South Africa for quite a lot of her life. She had married a rather eccentric and wealthy South African for a while. Like me, she was not married just once. Anyway, it runs in the family apparently. And out one day, she was working in the rose garden with some of her garden staff. And they all went running around the place frantically because they had found a black mamba underneath one of the rose bushes. They were digging up rose bushes and moving them from A to B. And they had found a black mamba coiled up round this rose bush. And they all scarpered, screaming, "Mamba, mamba, mamba, mamba." And she just walked over, picked it up by the tail and threw it away. Just threw it somewhere else. She was a fearless character, an absolutely fearless character. Madness. When we used to go and visit her as children, she used to regale us with all these stories, and other members of the family would try to stop her telling us these stories, which would make her tell more of those stories. It was wonderful. Oh, SJSDF is new here. Have I got this up here yet? Hold on, I'll pop it up in a moment when it arrives. I've got a live chat going on here. It takes a while to come through for some bizarre reason. There we are. We have a young chap from Israel here. Is it a chap? I'm not sure. Hello from Israel. I'm new here, 17, probably your youngest viewer as I looked at the chat. Yes, I suspect you are. I like your content and especially your older videos. Well, thank you very much, 17-year-old SJSDF422 from Israel. Do you have a real name so we can call you a real name? Welcome to the chat. Lovely to see you here. Yeah, aren't we international? Where are we all from tonight? Who's the most international person we have tonight? So who beats, come on, let's see if we can beat Israel. We've got Israel, we've got lots of Americans, we've got lots of Germans, we've got lots of Brits, we've got an Australian, at least one Australian. What else do we have tonight? Who else is here tonight? Let us know what countries you're from. Oh, we've got a Greek guy as well. Xenophon Soulis is also here. We have some Canadians. Oh, he's only 23, our Greek friend. I didn't know that. Michigan. Yes, well, that's definitely United States, isn't it? Canned music. The UK. Yes, good, good, good. Who else have we got? Come on, let's have some internationals. Itzhak. Yes, well, Joe, you're from South Carolina. That doesn't count. Of course it counts, but, you know, not for this kind of thing. Where are we all from? Where are we all from? My name is Ziv. How do we pronounce that? I really like pipe organs, so they are very rare here. Yeah, they are, aren't they? I've never got to play one, but I would definitely like to try. Well, you need to make your way over to these parts of the world where there are lots of them. There are some nice organs in Israel. Not many, that's true, that's very true. There's a wonderful video somewhere on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's still there. They may have taken it down. Some Christian community in Israel put up a video of a church service they had, and they had the most enormous organ in this place. I'm not sure if it's still there, but yeah, good to find. The Appalachians as well, T Yoga Web. Wow, okay, good, good, good. Good, good, good. We have someone from Sweden here. Per is here from Sweden. I forgot about Per. There we are. Anyone? I was going to say anyone further away than Israel, but it depends where you're looking from, isn't it? Tim is definitely the furthest. Tim is in Australia. He's definitely the furthest from here, unless someone's in Hawaii, which I think is probably further. Xing Shang Chong is from the Westerwald. Yeah, well, you're the closest. You're definitely the closest. You live about 20 minutes away. Yellowbird is just down his road. Right, well, good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Exciting. Near the bottom of South Australia. When you say the bottom, are you referring from top to bottom or from north to south? My geography teacher used to get annoyed when we said the bottom. Do you mean the south? All that kind of stuff. Norway, Sweden and Denmark. The Erlöser Kirche in Jerusalem has a mid-aged, what does that mean? Middle-aged, like me, I'm middle-aged. Is that what that means? 2-manual Riga organ. Yeah, it was definitely bigger than that, the one I saw all those years ago. There is an event called Terra Sancta Organ Festival in a lot of Middle Eastern countries. Ah, okay, right. This could be a little this could be a business deal for some organ builders out there. Close to Adelaide, most of the northern part of southern Australia is unoccupied. Just about everything is around the coast in this country. That's true. Just around everything is around the coast. Yeah, there you are. You're true. That's right. I've never been to Australia. I must come. I really must. Do an organ tour of Australia. Tim, can you help me out there? Shall we play a piece of novelty music? I'm sure this will work very nicely on this organ. This will definitely work. Oh, I almost dropped my drink there. Oops. Apart from that, that was a piece of music called Dainty Miss, which is a lovely novelty piece of music from yesteryear. That was the signature tune from a theatre organist called David Shepherd. I'm assuming he still plays it as his signature tune. I haven't seen David Shepherd for years. David Shepherd has a huge 4-manual Compton theatre organ in his house close to Peterborough. Crazy. I went to visit David. Gosh, a long time ago. Must be about 25 years ago now. Spent the afternoon. We had a lovely cup of tea, and I got to play his organ. It's weird sitting in somebody's living room playing a 4-manual theatre organ. It's very, very bizarre. Wonderful stuff. David Shepherd, brilliant theatre organist. Works for Allen Organs as well. Ian Walker says, reminds me of, that's what Ian Walker looks like, everybody. Ian Walker, yeah, look at that, Ian Walker. It's David Copperfield's magician brother, isn't it? Yeah. Ian Walker reminds me of Facade, an entertainment composition by William Walton. Yes, it does. Facade was a wonderful piece of music by William Walton. Well done. Well spotted. Right, let me just quickly go and check the old financials, see if anything has changed. No is the answer on the ticket front, and has Vanessa sent me an email over here? Update emails. Anything new on the wish list or anything else? And that, come on, load up. No message from Vanessa, so either she's asleep or nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very close to midnight. Very close to midnight. Oh yes, now last night, we didn't have a tuba concert last night because we didn't have any internet. Now, well, we did. We had internet and then it stopped and then it came back and then it stopped and it came back. Tonight I am streaming via a mobile telephone. We have a good 5G connection here in the house, and I'm using a mobile connection to stream tonight. And it's working. And it feels like it's working even better than the normal internet connection. Did anyone notice anything? Anyone notice any buffering or any funny things going on tonight? I bet you didn't. I shouldn't have mentioned it, should I? I wasn't going to mention it. Ivan, thank you very much for your wonderful instrument, your new organ from Ewell. It's absolutely delicious. A Father Willis organ. Go and buy it. If you're a Hauptwerk user and you want... No, not even if you... I don't care if you want it or not. Just go and buy it. Support Ivan. Support the church, St. Mary's in Ewell. St. Mary the Virgin in Ewell. It's a delicious sample set. It definitely needs some more airing. I will be playing it regularly. I love it. Anyone else? Yeah, see, some people have buffering, some people don't. Well, here's the thing, good chappy, I would never have known a mobile phone was being used for streaming. I stream from hardware. I've got a Blackmagic 8M streaming device. It's hardware. Normally it's linked up to my Ethernet at home. Yeah. And for some reason our normal hardwired landline DSL internet, we don't have fiber here. We're in the middle of nowhere. It's absolute craziness here where we live. And usually it's fine, but it's like, it's DSL, so what is it, 100 megabits per second, you know, which, you know, a few years ago was all right, but nowadays it's rubbish. But we have a wonderful 5G signal here in the village because our mayor, the little mayor of the village, he is, he's somehow connected to the telecom company and other sorts of social things. And he insisted that we have our own 5G mast here in the village. So we have it right there. So our 5G signal is much stronger, much faster than our normal DSL internet. So actually streaming via the mobile phone is going to be probably a much better way of doing it. And here's the wonderful thing. I have a contract now with unlimited volume. Unlimited volume, so I can stream 24 hours a day if I wanted to from the mobile phone. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? That'd be cool. It also means I can stream from out and about if we're visiting other organs. If there's a good 5G signal there and I've got my hardware with me, which I do, I have an outdoor streaming kit now ready to be used. We can go and stream from anywhere with a good signal. 4G and LTE signal would do, but 5G is even better. Isn't that great? This is a theatre organ, ladies and gentlemen, to finish this evening's concert. A couple of tunes to finish us off. This is a Fox Wurlitzer, which is a grand thing any time of the day. And we're going to finish off with a couple of jazzy tunes. I'm just going to go at random to my big jazzy book and see what we find. God, I'm not playing that. I'm not going to play that. Let's play something bluesy. Yellowbird has unlimited 4G. Yeah, unlimited is great. Yeah, we've got fantastic 5G here. In fact, this is my private mobile. Let me do a speed test. Where's my speed test? I have an app here that does a speed test. There it is. Speed test, right. Let's get rid of Wi-Fi. Accept that. Press test. Let's see what we have here. This is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, that's just frightening. That is frightening. My God, here we go. Oh, the upload speed is just almost as good as well. Download speed of 230 megabits per second. That's actually quite slow. It's usually better than that. I'm going to blame the weather. It's snowing out there. 232 megabits per second. That's what I'm streaming at, presumably. Well, it's not true because upload is only 108. That's not bad. That's not bad. And that's normally it's faster than that. I'm going to blame the weather. But that's what we're streaming with tonight. Isn't that great? What we're going to play here, I was going to play a bluesy number, a very old tune from the early 20s, but it was made famous again by a certain Mr. Clapton back in the 80s when he recorded this with his jazzy lot. A wonderful piece of music. Shall I leave that screen on for you? Is that exciting to see all the theatre organ stops? I'm sure it is. Nobody knows you when you're doing an oot. knows you when you're down and out. Who wrote that? I don't know who wrote that. Mike's internet is showing 48 download and 41 upload. That's not a fast. Dial up 1200. Now, see, Joe's on the fast stuff. There you are. Yeah, I can't wait. At some point, all of Germany will get fiber, and then we can get some real speeds going, which will be beautiful, but not tonight. I'm not in the mood for real fast stuff tonight. I don't think my finger will let me. So let's play something ballady to finish off this evening's concert. Earlier today, oh, that really hurts. Earlier today, I was down in the city of Koblenz, which is where the river Rhine flows from north to south, and the river Mosel, or Moselle, however you want to pronounce it, flows from east to west. Well, actually flows from west to east, but never mind. But it sort of it meets the Rhine in Koblenz. Koblenz used to be called Confluentia, which means confluence, two rivers joining. So where the Mosel meets the Rhine. It's a beautiful city, lovely, lovely place. We were down there this afternoon, and it reminded me that I should play this beautiful piece of music. We don't have a Mississippi in Germany, but we have the closest thing, which is the River Rhine, a very slow-moving, stately river. I love the Rhine and all the mystery surrounding it. And there is, of course, a beautiful song written by Jerome Kern and Oscar Hammerstein back in the late 20s called Old Man River, the German version. Old Man River. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it a night. It's 12:15 at this part of the world, and I'm in a bit of discomfort with my finger here, and I can see through the plaster it has started to... it's opened up again, let's just put it like that. So I'm going to say night-night. I'm going to wish you all a pleasant start to the new week, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Tatty bye, everybody.